So I found these videos very interesting. I'm a pretty big skeptic when it comes to things like psychic powers, and I really enjoy watching people disprove them. And I'd never seen any kind of like actual scientific research study on it before. So the Stanford research was very interesting for me to look at because I have never seen anything like that before. In regards to the questions on the research designs in the module, I think the research appeared pretty causal, as there's really no other explanation than him, Uri, causing what's happening in each of the experiments. The only thing that's changing is what he is doing. So the effects appear to be dependent on what he's doing, though I'm not sure how you would actually determine if it's causal because you don't actually know what he's doing, and I guess the only explanation would be his psychic abilities. But they are experiments, and they are experimental design methods. I see a lot of weaknesses initially just because I think my skepticism is so high, but there are also a lot of strengths in the way the research was conducted. Weaknesses that I saw initially were, of course, just the subject matter in general. I think a lot of people are going to be a lot more hesitant to kind of trust this study because the topic is psychic abilities or something like that, which is something not a lot of people hold a lot of faith in. And there's also no really way to prove what he is doing because there's not really a predicate or previous study that with hard evidence or fact to base results or analysis of this research off of. But there is a strength definitely in the Institute. Stanford has a strong reputation, so I'm inclined to trust their methods. They have a lot of video evidence, clearly, of the experiments, and if you trust what's being said, you can observe for yourself what's being done. I also thought, not really research methods, but I thought Uri's emotional response and his investment that you can see in his kind of reactions to when he gets things right, it kind of humanizes him, so you are inclined to kind of trust more of what he is saying and what he is doing. He doubts himself, he gets excited, he's kind of cautious sometimes. On the research methods side, I saw strong methods with the usage of double-blind experiments, making sure that they took a lot of precautions to make sure that Uri didn't know what the drawings were, where the ball was, where the water was. They seemed to take a lot of methodical precautions to ensure the strength of the study. But I did see the weakness in how, because they aren't really sure how he does this, there's no way to ensure a completely controlled environment. So I would say it's kind of inconclusive. There's not really enough investigation into how this could have happened without psychic abilities. And I think his inability to bend the metal without touching it, not in the lab, was kind of iffy. So I think it's questionable to me, especially in those videos of him with the spoons and everything. To me, it looked like he was bending it with his fingers. So I think there's a lot of issues with that as well. I really want to say that the results are convincing because it's Stanford and it's high reputation and everything, but I just don't think that I would ever be convinced that he had some kind of actual power. I think on the Johnny Carson videos and those videos of him getting disproved, I'm on the skeptic side for the most part. They can easily not easily, but they can duplicate the effects in a very logical and reasonable manner. I will likely always believe that none of it's actually real. On the game show and everything, they definitely calling bullshit on it. I don't think it's strong at all. But even after watching everything, I do not think he has these powers. There's just definitely, I didn't think he did before, and watching all of it kind of just confirmed it, and I'm kind of a little, I don't know how to describe it, but kind of disappointed with Stanford for going in on something like this. And the last question, even if he doesn't have the powers, is what he was doing ethical. I don't think it was particularly ethical. I think things like this is okay for entertainment purposes, and when you're actively participating in something and you know that this is what he's doing. But once researchers started getting involved, I think he should have stopped. So I think that is the unethical part. So